The times that we're in just gets crazier and crazier with the announcement of the tariffs last week and the day of liberation, and then downhill, uphill. It's like not knowing what Trump was doing, even members of his cabinet not knowing what was going on or what he was going to do, and then putting a hold on the tariffs, except 10% on everybody except for China. It was just it was unbelievable. And then yesterday, Trump saying no, the tariffs are still in place, no one's getting a break. There's still the tariffs on electronics, it's just being shifted to something else. And when you think of if you think of autocrats or how a dictatorship works, it's all the smoke and mirrors. It's like I apologize for saying it's like, or repeating myself, but there's so much confusion going on. Is that part of their game is to say one thing and to do another, or to make you think that everything is going to be okay, and just it's kind of like the ball and shell game. It's like, where is the ball? Well, that's what they want. It's to just keep you guessing, and then they just do it. The tariff thing is like, they just want you to sit back and for you to think it's like, you know what, everything is going to be okay. Everything's not going to be okay. We're headed for a cliff. It's no one's going to tell him differently. He's not going to listen to anybody but himself. He never does. It's crazy. We as Americans have been too passive for so long. We've been accustomed for over 200 years, for almost 250 years, to having everything pretty much go our way. And now it's like we're having the shit kicked out of us. We're not having it kicked out of us by another country. We're having it kicked out of us by our own government. A government that we elected. Some of us elected. And that's the scary part. And it's up to us is to resist it. We have to be the resistance, because we can't rely on those that we elected. We can't rely on the Democratic Party. They're not going to be our backbone. They're not going to stand up to the morons that are in charge of our government. They're not going to stand up to the Republicans that are dragging us downhill. They're going to say, well, listen to the courts, let the courts. Well, the courts aren't going to help us. The Republicans have said that. If you listen to the Justice Department, they've actually said, we're not going to listen to the courts. They're going to do exactly what they damn well please, and they're going to do it relatively quick. Which brings me to another topic that I wanted to talk a lot about, is that over the last couple of weeks, maybe 3 weeks, as Trump had always said that he was going to deport the people who came, living human beings who came into the country illegally, and deport them back to the countries that they came from, their country of citizenship. And that proved to be false, but he was deporting them to El Salvador, which is ran by another right wing. I don't want to say lunatic because he's a right wing, more palpable, elected legitimately, supposedly, but who is of the same cloth as Trump. And he made a deal, cut a deal, so that he would take the. I'm not even going to say prisoners or say whatever, but just to take individuals from the U.S., supposedly who came into the country illegally. Well, of the first 280 some odd people, roughly, it turns out that maybe 12 to 25 of them were actually in the country illegally and did commit serious crimes. The rest did not. However, it's still up in the air because they were shuffled out of the country quite quickly. Over the past couple of weeks, we've heard a lot about Kitmar Abreu Garcia, who is the father of three from Maryland, who 99% sure he did nothing wrong. Of course, it's like with ICE, it's like they just cooped him up and set him away, and no one knows where in the hell he is. But today, it's the president of El Salvador said that he has no intention of sending him back to the U.S., which the U.S. says that, and when I say U.S., I say Trump and all of his cronies, from the State Department to the Department of Justice, says that they have no intention of getting him back. But we have heard absolutely nothing about Andre Hernandez Romero, who is a gay makeup artist who was in the U.S. and who had asked for political asylum because of his homosexuality, and he was granted under the Biden administration. He was given temporary asylum and given a case number, and he was scooped up and sent to this prison. His life is in immediate danger because of his homosexuality, and we have heard nothing about him. They don't talk about him on the news. We hear nothing about the 260 to 270 other people who were kidnapped from the U.S. and taken to El Salvador illegally, who, without any jurisdiction to do so and without a hearing of any kind, which is what they're entitled to. What every American citizen should be concerned with is that if Trump has done this to anyone who was here illegally, and even though they are here illegally, being in the United States, they are assured of some rights before they are deported. Trump would do this to any citizen who speaks out against him, who was born here, and who is a naturalized U.S. citizen. They would do it to me, they would do it to you, they would do it to anyone. Especially if you speak up against him, any one of his cronies, or anyone who goes against a Trump policy. Now is the time that we continue to organize even further than what was done earlier this month on the 5th, but we have to continue to do it more. We have to continue to do it this month, in the future months, and we have to resist, and we have to call for the dismantling of the current administration and to bring our country back so that we get the rights that this country was founded on by our forefathers and not by a fascist dictatorship government.